Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. Today, we will team up in Lords of the Fallen with its seamless co-op, nail gravity-defying flips with fish and Tuna Hakes underwater, and master chess-inspired Souls-like adventures in Stone Machia. But before that, I wouldn't necessarily say he's jumped the shark, but his ability to ollie, kickflip, and grind as a fish tells me it's just a matter of time. It's Ryan.
Say less, man. If you're going to combine skateboarding and fish, like, what more can you ask for?
That's true. You do love aquariums, don't you?
I do. I got a saltwater aquarium right away. I was like, oh, I know what that fit. Look at this copper band. Look at that. That's, oh, man.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh, yeah, Ryan loves to skate, but I totally forgot you love aquariums and fish, too.
Yep.
It's like perfect for you.
I'm stoked, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Everybody listening, you may have noticed a voice introing us today. Our big boy Ace is hitting those reins, and he's gonna run this thing, and so I can kick back and just relax. So,
yeah, I know.
love it.
You and Josh get to take a little break. As people may have noticed, he's not here. We're giving him a little break from all the chaos, and honestly, we just can't pull him away from Expedition 33. That's the real issue. We can't get him here. He doesn't want to come.
On baguettes and waiting him for his turn to attack.
Yeah, no. We already know how you feel about Expedition 33, right?
No, I haven't said anything. I've been very, very cautious on my take. We're going to save it for the deep dive.
Okay, we're saving it for the deep dive. Is that it? Just like how Ryan or how John and Josh are saving it for the deep dive.
They are not. They have made it known in our Discord exactly where they stand on this game. Like every 3 hours, guys, I love this game.
Now, we've got some interesting little topics to go over today. I would say some of them more interesting than others, in my opinion, but we're going to start with Lords of the Fallen. Have you ever heard of Lords of the Fallen, Ryan?
The name is vaguely familiar. I went and looked at it and stuff. I don't remember seeing anything like this, but I know the name.
This was going to be one of the biggest indie Souls-likes with a dark fantasy setting. It looked incredible. People were so hyped for it. Yeah. And when it released, it was just kind of dead on arrival. It was so disappointing, man.
Yeah.
But we may have a cyberpunk-esque redemption story on our hands with Lords of the Fallen, as they've gotten a 2.0 update, as it would be, that went live this April, that overhauled the game completely.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It added a seamless co-op and progression system and a friend pass, which we may know from games like It Takes Two or Split Fiction, where only one person has to own the game to play with their friends. So we're always on board with something like that. Like, why don't more developers do that?
I was just going to say, dude, props to the devs that do that, because that's just one more easier kind of access, point of entry for people who may not have played those games a ton or not super interested in them, but hey, I'll give it a try with you, buddy. It's free.
Exactly.
Why not?
Like, you are not a Souls-like guy, but if I tell you I have Lords of the Fallen and you could play it with me for free, the very idea of just playing a game with me is enough to get you interested.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, to hop on with your buddy and just play a game and check it out and maybe find something that you otherwise wouldn't have played or wouldn't, don't like that genre. So I do think that's a cool thing they're doing. So with this, with the big flop where it kind of came out, what were the issues with it? Was it just bad mechanics? Or?
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. It was janky. It was really janky, and it was really unsatisfying to play. The combat did not feel fluid. People just did not enjoy this game. And this came out around the same time as Lies of P. So people were very heavily comparing the two. Yeah. And Lies of P was just a much better indie Souls-like. Mm-hmm. Lords of the Fallen, however, it fell short, to say the least.
Yeah, there you go. Dang, that's always a bummer when, and especially as these indie devs, I'm sure they have so much hope and aspiration for their games, then you put it out, and then it just gets compared to this beautiful masterpiece of a game that's also an indie developer, and you're like, man, why couldn't we do that? What happened?
Yeah,
so that's cool
feel
that they're
so bad for them. They made a very visually impressive game, It had a cool mechanic where you could travel between the real world and the underworld using lanterns.
Oh,
it was super neat, but it just sucked. There's no other way to say it. It sucked. Yeah, but they've not only added the Friends Pass and the cross progression, they've overhauled the game completely. The mechanics are much better now. The gameplay feels much better now. And just overall, the game is better now. It's got a new tutorial. It's basically a whole new game. This might as well be Lords of the Fallen 2.
Oh, okay.
Is what people are saying. And I think that makes it worth revisiting, in my opinion.
Good for them, man. Yeah, good for them giving another crack at it. Like, hey, we're sorry. We messed up.
We screwed up. I'm so sorry.
Give me one more chance, please.
Just one more chance. You gave CD Projekt Red one more chance.
Whoa, that's a little different.
Is it now? They really messed up with that one.
That's true. They have a lot more people and a lot more money too. So
I mean, speaking of a lot more money and a lot more people, indie devs tend to get overshadowed when it comes to AAA releases, which means they like to schedule their releases away from big releases. I'd say that's a pretty smart, business decision, not to schedule, oh yeah, we're going to put our game out the same day as Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh yeah. It might get buried a little bit in the mix.
Well, we had a very interesting little story come up about the dev on Blue Prince and what he had to say about the shadow drop of the Oblivion remaster.
Ooh, lay it on me.
Co-founder, an indie publisher of Raw Fury, he argued that unexpected shadow drops like Oblivion Remastered unfairly bury smaller indie titles, noting that indie teams will meticulously plan their releases around, these big games and try to avoid them. He highlighted how indie gems such as Post-Trauma and The Darkest Files, which are indie games which you probably have never heard of because they got buried, struggled to gain traction despite their positive reception because big games are dropped on the same day without any warning whatsoever.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
This one's kind of hard for me because I know I had talked with, we had mentioned with the shadow drop with Expedition 33, and Josh was like, no, I don't think they'll do it, blah, blah. And my thought is like, why not? Cowards, if you believe your game and you stand behind it, put it out there and let it run. It's that kind of that in like sports terms of like basketball, if you're good enough, you're tall enough.
Yeah, I can understand that.
If your game is super solid and you think it's amazing, I mean, look at some of the popularity of these games. We talk about like Lethal Company and a lot of these indies that just take over the world by storm. Part of me wants to like say, back it up, put out an awesome game, and it won't matter what's released. But I do get, these other larger AAA titles and stuff. They have the development team, they have the money for marketing, they have the advertisement budget, and they typically just make a bigger, more polished game. So it's got to be hard on those devs, and I'm sure it's just kind of gut-wrenching when you're like, you think you have that week or two slotted out, and then somebody shadow drops a remake of one of the greatest open world RPG games, and then you're just like, oh, come on, man, what the heck?
I thought we had this figured out.
Yeah.
We managed to avoid Expedition 33.
Oh man. Yeah, so I'm kind of indifferent on it. It's like, it's hard. It's one, kind of one side, both sides of the coin. It's like, have some faith in your game, but also it's got to suck, I'm sure.
I know. I mean, that must really suck. I mean, maybe the only reason we know about Blue Prince is because it dropped in a week where there was nothing else happening.
Yeah.
Like, could you think about if that had dropped like the same week as Oblivion, would Oblivion have buried it? Would nobody be covering it because everyone would be looking at Oblivion?
We probably wouldn't have. I tell you that much.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I clearly see where he's coming from on this, that shadow drops are going to hurt indies indirectly, but also I think like it's just part of the business. I think it's something you just kind of have to roll with because that's how some people want to do things. They don't want to do a big, hour-long showcase and be like, that's right, our game has been announced 4 months in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope you're hyped, America.
Yeah, build up that hype. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's it's business, but it's also, they try to be so tactful with how they, strategize their release, and then because but I would have sucked because I honestly really enjoyed my time in Blue Prince. I thought it was an awesome game, and I can with utmost certainty say that if it came out the same week as Oblivion, I would have never touched it.
You would have never even touched it. Even if Josh told you we need to play this game, you would have been on Oblivion. And
especially because I'm not a puzzle game guy, but we had nothing else to play, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out, And Josh was like, I think it's gonna be really good, and it was, And so it's cool to have there's just so many dang games coming out these days, dude. Like
it's been the year of games all time.
Yeah, I don't know how they plan this stuff. Like when would a good week be? Because there's always all these games that keep coming, plus the unexpected games, these shadow drops. It's like I don't know how,
Hey, I
they're
don't know
lucky
how
they
you
got the
plan
week
for
or two
something
they
like
did.
that, unless you just don't care. Like some indie games are just so small and they just don't care. Like the one we're about to talk about right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin with this game. This is clearly a joke game. I would
Oh
say
yeah.
like a parody game. You're not meant to take it seriously.
Yeah.
But Tuna Hakes Underwater.
God.
Let's all just take a moment to take that name in. Tuna Hakes Underwater. What does that sound like to you, Ryan?
Man, it sounds like licensing issues if they had it any closer to what the name could have been. That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh man.
Dude, this is so dumb. But I watched it and I just found myself laughing and smiling and like, oh yeah, because you get on this trailer and it opens up. It's a fish. It's Tuna Hakes, Tony Hawk. You're
Mm-hmm.
like a skateboarding looking fish guy, and he just starts like doing all of these flips in the air after you pop out of water, and I was just cracking up laughing. It is utterly ridiculous. I was gonna say too. I started because just so everybody knows a little behind the scenes, this indie stuff. Ace is a wizard. I don't know where the heck he finds some of these games. It is beyond me because I'll look at it and I'd be like, how did you even find this, dude? Like, are you just he's just like down in the caves, like looking through all these files, finding these crazy games. But yeah, man, this is just wild looking. This is crazy.
Oh man, on my 15-minute breaks at work, I will just go to the Steam page and I'll just search the word indie. And then
Yeah.
I'll go just check every single tab for something that's interesting. And some of the games on there I can't talk about, but some of the games,
Yes.
some of the games are very interesting. And then there's just ones that stand out for completely different reasons. It's not ones like I'm like, oh, this game's gonna be an all-timer. It's gonna be like, this game's $2, but man,
Yeah.
it could be a great time for $2.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. How many times do you just like lose a couple bucks? Like, so spending a couple dollars just for like 30 minutes of laughs is not the end of the world. That's for sure. It almost does have like. Do you remember that old N64 game, or it was in like the Peter Piper Pizza in the arcade places? It was the Wave Runner or whatever.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
with the jet skis and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It kind of
Wave.
reminds me like the graphics and the look of the ocean reminds me of that. Which is funny because it's just those goofy games that you like you said, you don't take it seriously, but it's pretty funny.
Even if no one buys this game, I want you to go check the trailer out just so you could see how much it's how much of a parody of Tony Hawk this game is.
No one is buying it, Ace. There's 33 reviews.
Hey, it's overwhelmingly positive.
This is true. 100% of those 33
100%
users.
positive reviews on Tuna
Oh my
Hakes.
gosh, there's like I'm watching like a little Nemo like board slide along this rail over
Oh,
the
dude,
ocean
the
right
rail
now.
the rail sliding with the fish was what got me at the end. I was like,
And their
that's
tails are still flapping as they're
hilarious.
going across.
Yeah, if it's not clear, Tuna Hake is a Tony Hawk ripoff, a very low effort one, sandbox game
$1.79 right
for
now.
a
You can
buck
have
79 if you're looking
all the
for
fun.
just a
30
dumb
minutes of
fun
fun.
game. But with
Love
its 31 players strong,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nothing offensive. I wouldn't say it's hurting the game industry in any way. I think it's silly and fun.
Yeah. Oh, for
And-
sure. These things are cool, and it is where people get their artistic expression out sometimes, and they're just like, I want to make a game. This would be fun. What's a crazy idea? And then they make that. Kind of like we talked with Sleepy Man. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, this is kind of an artistic expression. It started as a goofy song, and I'm like, let's make a game about it. And I mean, he's spending, I think, a little bit more time on that one.
Yeah, I would say he's putting a little bit more effort and time into his.
little bit
but
more effort,
It is
but
the
it is-
same concept. Most indie game developers, I would think, are just like, yeah, this is my vision. This is my
Yep.
dream.
This seems cool. Yeah,
I've
I've had a
always
ton of
wanted
game
to
ideas.
see fish grind rails.
Yeah, that's always been in my bucket list of things to see.
But moving on from Tuna Hake, let's talk about a indie game that looks just a little bit more interesting to me for completely
here we
different reasons. We're talking about Once Upon a Puppet. It is a 2D platformer kind of game. It's a 2.5D puzzle platformer kind of game. It kind of reminds me of this old PS3 game called Puppeteer, where you played as a
Okay.
puppet with scissors, and you would try to cut the heads off of enemies and use the heads as your lives. It was a very interesting game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a very interesting game.
Some of those old like 90s and 2000s games were pretty off the wall back then.
Well, this one was crazy. I loved the look of it too, because you had the whole puppeteer thing, the strings and all that. Games that can like nail that aesthetic of puppeteering. Yeah, I guess that's the word. Puppeteering. Really worked for me when pulling me into the world. And this one does that for me. I don't know what you thought about it, but
I do. I really have been vibing lately with these 2.5Ds. Like I really like the look. It's not just super plain, like a 2D or like some of the stuff like that, but in the side scrollers, but it's got that little bit of extra, but that still unique look to it. And they seem to keep, every time I see one, I'm like, oh, and it perks my interest. And I do really like the atmosphere and the look. I always, the thing with these puppeteer type and kind of look to them games, especially in like the big worlds, the vastness of the worlds and stuff that they create, it makes you feel so small. They're always just like, for some reason, in a carnival setting or weird settings, and it always is so, it's so creepy, like a circus or a carnival, and I'm always like, but I do want to check it out, but it's kind of spooky and creepy, Yeah,
I mean, if we didn't have the Midnight Walk coming up, I would definitely be like, oh yeah, I'm going to play Once Upon a Puppet, but like there's, like we said before, there's so many good games coming out this year. Oh, yeah. I feel like we just don't have time to play everything, and it really is a disappointment. So if anyone out there wants to play it for us and tell us how it was.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, it's $22.
No, I ain't bad at all.
$22.50. No, I'm sure it's great too. I mean, not a lot of reviews on there, but it's overwhelmingly positive. So, just for the look of this game, I'm watching some more gameplay right now. I mean, it looks pretty solid. So, I mean, if the controls are there and it's not janky and it's it runs well.
I mean, from what I've seen, it nails the atmosphere and the aesthetic it's going for with the whole puppeteering stage kind of stuff, and it works for me. So I know it'll work for you guys if you try it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So
this is me poking you to try it for me because I don't have time.
If you have a little more time than we do, then please let us know and check it out and tell us what you think.
All right, we're gonna move on to this next one after this short little break. All right, we are back. We are talking about something that is going to be absolutely legendary. I can assure you now, I'm not overhyping this. One of the best indie roguelikes known to man is getting a sequel, Enter the Gungeon 2. Oh, baby.
Can you tell Ace is excited?
Oh, Enter the Gungeon is one of the best indie roguelikes there is. It's got a great story if you follow the story, because you pick one of the 4 characters, you go through the dungeon, and you're looking for a gun that'll kill your past. And if you can do that, then the story resets into unlocking more and more interesting characters that tie to the main story. I'm not going to go in the whole thing because I'll be here for hours. I'm a dork like that. Yeah. But one thing that people have an issue with Enter the Gungeon with is, of course, people like Josh, it's the graphics. It's pixel graphics.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a problem anymore in Into the Gungeon 2.
This looks pretty good.
We got some absolutely stunning 3D visuals on this one, and I, for one, am so excited to see where this goes. We don't have much to go on yet. We just have an announcement trailer, and we don't have an announcement date, unfortunately. But what do you think about this one, Ryan? You've never played Into the Gungeon, but does this pique your interest in any way as a roguelike fan?
I honestly I love roguelikes now, so anything I can try and see how my runs go, unless it's, I'm not a big fan of the card roguelikes.
That's fair. I'm not huge on card battlers either.
Yeah, and so I'm watching this and I have no clue what's even going on right now. Like this looks ridiculous. Are you just you just have a giant pile of guys and then you like shoot stuff?
The guns are ridiculous. They're like, remember how we talked about Doom Eternal and how Doom Eternal has ridiculous weapons and guns? And stuff? And it really leans into that. Uh-huh. Enter the Gungeon is the same way. You'll get a shotgun shell that shoots shotguns.
That's awesome.
Or a barrel that shoots fish. Like, the guns are ridiculous, but the magic comes from the synergy of the items you pick up that go with the gun. So, like, maybe you'll pick up the infinite ammo boost with some kind of like Gatling gun, and it combines into some ridiculous weapon that just deletes the first boss.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
do
got
love
those
too.
fun roguelike elements.
I love that the developer's name is Dodge Roll. And
Oh yeah,
Dodge Roll, and they're
Dodge
making
Roll's
this.
out here doing some interesting things with their.
They need to make a Souls-like.
games.
That would be just on brand for their name.
As difficult as Enter the Gungeon can be, it's a bullet hell game, so you're like dodgy rolling a lot. It might as well be a Souls-like.
Might as well. Yeah.
Might as well be, if you ask me.
So the first one was pretty pixel graphics.
It was
stuff,
very. It was a pixelated kind of graphical adventure.
Okay.
It was. It's beautiful pixel art. It's not ugly by any means, and it's got a lot of personality and charm because the enemies are like little bullets with legs on the front.
That's what was funny. They look. At least I am proud that like the shell casings on the ground aren't like with the bullets still or crazy things like that. Or when they fire bullets, you see in some of these animations like the shell casings with it and the bullets traveling in the air and stuff. At least they look like they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they've definitely got a little bit of knowledge about guns. But I think Enter the Gungeon 2, if it comes out this year, if they can time it to not come out with anything else, like we were talking about, no shadow drops or anything like that, it'll take it the month it comes out because people freaking love Enter the Gungeon. I being one of them.
You hear that, Bethesda? Let's get Morrowind now.
No. Bethesda, you're done. You've already dropped Oblivion, and you have freaking Doom, the Dark Ages coming. No more from you. You're done.
No more.
You leave the indie gamers alone.
How many Skyrims are there? Is there room for one more? We can just 1, 2, 3.
Oh, 1 second. Todd Howard's at my door.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, no, he's threatening me with a New Vegas remaster.
Would you even be able to see him through the peephole? They'd probably have to like have
he's a little short, isn't
lower. Like 4 foot down. Hey, buddy, come on in, little guy.
I brought Skyrim.
Oh my god. That sounded like the little elves on The Simpsons. We're here.
I don't know how much trouble we're going to get into for ripping to Todd Howard, but
whatever.
We love you, Todd. Now it's okay because we said we love you. But moving on from Enter the Gungeon, we're going to talk about a game that came out, I believe, last week. And I played this game. You played this game. I did a review of this game. It is not performing as well as I expected.
Really?
Yeah, we are talking about Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, which is a 2.5D Metroidvania kind of Souls-like combat with a Diablo-style skill tree. The skill tree is insane in this game, I will say.
I was playing the playtest and I'm looking at it like, what? Where does this even go? Like, what the heck?
I was lost immediately when I opened the skill tree. I was like,
There's your eyes cross. You're like, oh my gosh. My thing with those is I always get analysis paralysis. I'm like looking and I just never know what to upgrade to or, go what path to take. I'm just like, there's just too much. It's too much for me.
And you never played a Souls-like, so you never dealt with the weapon scaling kind of mechanics that come from Souls-like games where having higher stats, can attribute to using better weapons and make a certain weapon more effective, which is what Mandragora tries to do. It does have weapon scaling. Like, that's where its Souls-like elements come from, on top of the freaking stamina bar.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played Bloodborne.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I played that, so like I've done some of the Soul stuff, but like I kept playing it, and I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like I want to like it, and everyone's like, it's so amazing, Souls-like games, and I just couldn't get into it.
Bloodborne's an all-timer, man. Bloodborne is so freaking good, and like I can't get into it here because it's not an indie game, and I'm the indie guy. But
you can like what you like.
If you haven't played Bloodborne, you're missing out. Go buy a PlayStation just for Bloodborne.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's a big take there. But so it's not performing well. That's
getting very mixed reviews, and I don't understand why. Because it's a beautiful 2.5D game.
Yeah.
It's got stunning graphics.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Incredible voice acting. The combat is fun and fluid, and it's just a fun game if you like this kind of game. It's got like 80 hours worth of content. Yeah. If you're looking for it. So I don't understand like why this one's not performing as well as it could have. I don't know if it's because of lack of marketing or maybe it was marketed incorrectly.
I don't know, because like you said, it is. I mean, it's a beautiful game, and I did like the abilities you did have, and it felt fluid, and you get this cool like lightning attack right off the bat, and or some blast attack, and you can do that, and then use your rolls to get around them and dodge stuff. And I did think it played well. It looks good. It's a kind of a cool style game. It's not like a $70 game or anything crazy. So
no.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, because it's sitting at a 63%,
That
which
is so low, man.
that might as well be 10%. Like,
for an indie dev, that is devastating.
Because the guys over there told us that, with like Tales of Iron, like if you're under an 80, there's a million 80 games. Like you got to be above that. Like, so 63, that's kind of rough.
That's really rough for them, and I do feel bad for the Mandragora devs, because you can clearly tell they put a lot of heart and a lot of effort into this game, and it just didn't land for people, unfortunately. And that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes games just don't land. But if you're even remotely interested in the Metroidvanias and you like Souls-like kind of elements, I think people should definitely still check out Mandragora. Even if you feel like you need to wait for a sale for it to be worth your time, I think people should still check it out.
I would probably wait for a sale. It's $40, so maybe they'll. They can probably do it if you get it for like 20. I think it's a solid pickup for like 20, $25. But I don't know if I'd pay the 40. But I mean, even the enemies that you battle, they all look really cool, and some are big, creepy like wolf guys, and others like are these blobs, and then you have like these tall wizard looking people, and there's all kinds of enemies and bosses, and so. Yeah, it may just be a price thing, honestly.
It might be a price thing. And I thought maybe it's the Souls-like elements being too heavily implemented into the Metroidvania elements. But, then I play games like Blasphemous, and Blasphemous is very similar. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what doesn't work. But,
I'm reading one of the not recommended reviews with 36 hours, and it's same thing. It's like, it was good, but the more I played, I really didn't like it too much.
Yeah.
But I think for like $20, this is perfect, and so...
Okay, so people like it, they just don't love it, which is something we talked about. Actually, we haven't talked about it yet. Scratch that. You haven't heard it yet. It's not out yet.
Don't listen. Don't
listen to me. Well, before we, have to end on that note.
Yeah. Happy.
Let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk about Stone Machia, which is probably the strangest combination of games I think I've seen yet. Do you like chess, Ryan?
I do. I am a fan of chess.
Have you ever looked at chess and been like, what if it was a Souls-like?
You know what this chessboard needs? More Souls-like elements.
I feel like that's every indie dev. This needs more roguelike. This needs more Souls-like.
That's Wizards chess. That's what it was. They watched Harry Potter and they're like, I know what we can do.
Dude, this is an absurd game. I found this today. Well, I was on my break. I was looking on my phone for something we could talk about that was not what I put in here, because I was like, everyone knows about this already. Everyone knows what this is. This looks so ridiculous, but also so intriguing to me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it kind of does, man. I was surprised, and it's funny because I was actually just doom scrolling earlier today, and I briefly saw something like this, and I thought it was like a weird mobile game or something, and I'm like, what? Like, chess? Like, Souls chess? I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I just kept scrolling, and then you sent it over to us, and you're like, dude, check this out. I'm like, what? I just saw this. So that's, again, I don't know how you always find all these things.
Hey, we had the same experience, because I actually saw it in a reel, and I was like, huh, what's that?
And okay.
And then I went and searched for it, because I was like, see, I'm a
I
little bit different. I didn't go, oh, mobile game.
Yep. Yeah, that's where my brain went right away. I'm like, what, people are going to download this? And I just kept scrolling.
I would like to say it does not look like a mobile game. Before anyone judges it, it does not look like a mobile game.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It has a very impressive graphical style where you play as a pawn and you can sort of level up into the different, archetypes of chess and go through this Italian Renaissance themed world of dark fantasy and action RPG, hack and slash adventure as a pawn, if that's what you've always wanted to do. I don't know. This is your dream?
This is what we were just talking about, though. Like these ideas that the indie devs have, like, they just go and do it. They're like, yeah, and there's not a big board meeting and in a room like the AAA studios have where they shoot out all these crazy ideas. These guys are just like, hey, bro, you want to do this? And they're like, okay. And then they make a game.
They just sat around a table, like, all right, we all love chess. What about chess 2?
There you go.
The Souls
Let's make it
version.
a little deeper. Yeah. Make it a little crazy. That's wild. So no other news on that, though. It's just coming soon.
Coming soon, but it does have a demo. If people want to try out the demo and jump into that, it does have a demo, which, yeah, if you really are interested in what I just talked about, I'm not going to repeat it, but
yeah,
I said a lot of words.
Armed with the power of chess.
Armed with the power of chess, the pawn will take the kingdom for himself. That's probably not even the plot. I'm just being dumb. But
epic Souls-like adventure. I did not think I'd be talking about a Souls-like chess game today, but here we are.
Yeah, Souls-like chess. What better? You know, we have a little bit of time, so we're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to talk about Repo.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Repo, everyone knows, if I say Repo, I think everyone who knows indie games knows exactly what I'm talking about right now.
Oh, yeah.
You're not able to scroll through Instagram right now or YouTube or anything without a short from Repo popping up.
Yeah. That game is wow. I watched one just the other day where they had some crazy item that was worth so much money, and they set it down on the platform, and it was kind of off the edge, and they sent it and just smashed and destroyed everything, and they're like, oh no.
Dude, I haven't played Repo with you and Josh. I've played Repo with other people, and that has happened so many times. I'll get like a vase in there worth like $6,000 and it'll just get smashed immediately.
Like, no, all my hard work.
But for the unaware, Repo is a cooperative survival horror game a la Lethal Company, where you play as robots going through these, randomly, I guess, semi-randomly generated levels, gathering loot and scrap with a sort of physics engine similar to Gary's Mod or Half-Life, using the physics gun. And different things weigh different things, so you have to have friends help you carry things. And if you bang them into walls or the floor, you lose value on the thing you're carrying.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, and of course, because it's a horror game, there are monsters. My favorite being the duck that follows you around, and if you touch it, it turns into a horrible monstrosity that chases you down like you're like you're its next snack.
Yeah, that's the best. These they've really hit like with these types, and we all talked about it. What was the other one we played with Josh? The
Headliners.
Yeah,
we played Headliners.
Just these super simple,
these are the new party game to me.
Yeah. That's just you just all hop on because nobody goes to anybody's house anymore, so they just play party games online with each other, and but you all hop on
Jackbox.
Yeah, exactly. And just have a great, awesome time and laugh, and they're just dumb fun. And dude, I love them. They're so good.
And Repo is just similar to Lethal Company. It's just taking the world by storm. People love Repo. A lot of people thought it would be a flash in a pan, another Lethal Company like game. It's going to be here and gone. It is still bumping with.
Dude, there's 73,000 people in right now from Steam.
What does it have? Like over 100,000 overwhelmingly positive review
I'm sure
score
it's
right
something
now.
Crazy. I'm pulling up the page, but at
its peak, it was like 230,000 people played this.
117,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive, 96%.
And that's for just
wild.
One of those, quick pick up and play party games. Like, that's insane.
For $10.
For $10, and it's still actively being supported by the dev, of course.
Yeah.
The dev is a little bit overwhelmed, to say the least. I think he said, like, I'm suffering from success right now. I think
Dude, I'll take that. I would love to suffer from success.
Because, people are like, when's the next update? When are we getting more?
Yeah.
More environments, more monsters, more, character models.
And is this a solo dev?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, even if he's got like five
I'd have
people,
to check
with
on
them,
that,
like,
but
that's...
I'm 98% sure it's a solo dev for this one.
Dude, that's got to be a lot of work. But props to him, man. That's solid to create a game like that, and then just to see these. I mean, with the way these types go to lend themselves to reels and funny clips and things like that, it's just all that. It's like it's easy marketing that you don't have to pay for, and people just do for you.
Yeah, I mean, the game's the medium, and the people you play with is where the entertainment comes from. because the the proximity chat, of course, is what makes this game so funny.
Oh, gosh.
And how the robots all flap their heads like Canadians from South Park.
Yeah, they do that. That's what I thought too when I first saw the game. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, check it out if you ever want to try these styles of games.
If you haven't played Repo and you have like a group or even just like one or two people who want to play a game with you, I'd recommend picking up Repo. Repo is a good time.
$10, even if it's one night of fun, like that's cheaper than a movie.
We'll never get Josh to play it with us, so you better get your friends to play it with you. But I wanted to leave it on a positive note there, since we kind of dunked on Manticore for a little bit.
I like it. I'm feeling good now. I'm excited.
Everyone's feeling good. We're feeling good about indie games. We're not worried about Oblivion totally covering up releases or anything.
Not at all. And now we'll just go play some Rivals and then hate our lives.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, man, the dive is strong this season.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, listening, and if you wouldn't mind going down there and leaving us a nice little review, rate the podcast, leave us a comment, go to our YouTube, check out the video. We're here. We're going to look at our pretty, pretty faces. Oh.
Hello.
And Ryan, how else can they support the podcast?
Well, there's a couple different ways other than, leaving your reviews on all of our stuff, socials and everything, checking out the videos, that really does make a big difference for us.
Mm-hmm.
But you might want to consider Patreon support. Podcasting, believe it or not, is not cheap. It does cost some money. So keeping the lights on does help assist us in bringing you more great content and kind of up in the ante like we have been with the video content and stuff like that. If you, we have options starting at $5 a month. You get a bunch of cool perks, Discord perks, early access to episodes, a lot of cool stuff. But you can go over to multiplayersquad.com and check that out and just give it a look. But anything is good. So we love it and we appreciate all the support we've been getting. It's been overwhelming. So,
all right, that'll do it. Well, thank you all for joining us and happy gaming.
See ya.